Welcome everybody to the ZeroDarkTony channel. I am Tony D, your host. Jumping back on here because we have got the Correspondents White House Dinner tonight. Trump is walking straight into the lion's den. So after years of boycotting the White House Correspondents Dinner, calling journalists the enemy of the people and fake news, blasting the fake news. Good evening. So now he is finally showing up after years of boycotting this event to speak in their house. He has reportedly excuse me, been working with joke writers, calling himself the GOAT, which is great. I think that's funny. You know, you got to have a sense of humor, right? You got to have a sense of humor, no matter what side you're on. So he's promising to make this the greatest, hottest, most spectacular dinner ever. So we are live. We're going to break down all his punchlines. We're going to see what kind of roasting we got here. It could be. I think within that writing, some of those jokes, Johnny Midnight, they definitely are going to be taking some shots if he has been working with writers. I have the best writers from the best places, medieval times. So we're going to watch this tonight. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. We're probably going to watch until just after Trump speaks, honestly, because I just want to see that. I want to hear what these writers do. So welcome, everybody. Put on your tux and tails. We are at the White House Correspondents Dinner. Gonna be fun tonight. I decided to go casual. I was gonna go black tie, but you know what they say about that. So we are watching. Look at this guy down here. He's got the border of the tux, the white with the black trim. Yeah, you got to have a sense of humor about these things. And reportedly, Trump has been working with some comedy writers. So I think we are going to see a full-on presidential roast tonight. I know. What is on the menu? Let's find out what's on the menu at the Correspondents' Dinner. Let's see. That's a good question. What is menu of the Correspondents? I suck at typing. Dinner. I type I'm a hunt and pecker with the single finger. All right, let's see. Oh, I said war. Yeah. See, I can't type. Give me a second here. We're going to find out what's on the menu of the Correspondents' Dinner tonight. Generally under wraps until served. Based on past events at the venue, let's jump over here. Based on past events at the menu, smoked paprika rubbed filet, foraged wild mushroom ragu, or seared Alaskan halibut. Sides, mascarpone, cheese, stone grits. That sounds good. Roasted baby bell pepper and jumbo asparagus. I like the other kind of asparagus. I don't know about you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you like the thin asparagus. Put a 2 in the chat if you're a jumbo asparagus guy. Let's see what you guys like. So, yeah. There we go. The menu is top secret until the event. And you could see everybody in their full gala gear. Gentlemen dressed to the nines. The ladies with their gowns. Quite a thing. 1 and 2? Okay, you like it all. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Doesn't matter what side you're on in this chat. I don't care. A lot of food to waste. No, I'd finish mine. That paprika on that filet. Paprika rubbed. Have you ever been paprika rubbed, Pippi? In the chat? No? Lee? Anybody here ever been paprika rubbed? I have. At band camp. I got paprika rubbed. They're just getting their appetizers, their cocktails. Tell me in the chat if you guys were at this event. We can hear the ambient noise now. I should keep that on. I like that. Get some more excitement. Not that you know it. I don't know what you mean. Hit that like button. Let me know where you're viewing from. We are awaiting the beginning of the White House Correspondents Dinner. I am not in my black tie, but I could be. And I might be. I might go put on my black tie. And here we are. You think he's going to flop? I don't know. He might kill it. He might kill it. He's been working with some writers, reportedly. He will be calling himself the GOAT, which, as you all know, means greatest of all time. A lot of people call me that. No shit. Really? Let's see. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Holy shit. Look at that. Give me a second so I could pull up one of these articles for you. This is from just 7 minutes ago. Wow. Look at this. Trump and White House VIPs evacuated after shooting at Correspondents' Dinner with gunmen killed on scene. Live updates. Get the hell out of here. Wow. Thank you very much, chat, for turning me on to this. I mean, do we see it? Like, what is that camera waving around for? What are they going to do? Well, that was before I knew. I said he's going to kill it before I knew. So here we are at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now we have news, breaking news, guys. All right, breaking news. Trump and White House VIPs evacuated after shooting at Correspondents' Dinner with gunmen killed at scene. Live update. So here we go. Donald Trump was swiftly evacuated from the White House Correspondents Association dinner on Saturday evening after gunshots we heard inside the Washington Hilton. The shooter has been confirmed dead, according to CNN. After shots rang out, the president was ushered away from the dais inside the ballroom and attended. Where the hell is that? When did that happen? Why isn't it on video here? What's going on? I'm going to find out what's going on here, guys. So, Trump and White House VIPs evacuated. Let's check this. I know we'll have some other coverage of this. Just give me a second. This is live and breaking. Things are just starting to filter in here, guys. So give me a second. We are going to get some coverage of this right now. Oh my God. They're like, Mr. President, we got to go. Where'd they go? There's the Secret Service right there. Getting him out. Holy shit. Holy shit. Let's look back here a little bit. And put a 1 in the chat if you guys heard those pops. I heard those pops. This is crazy. Give me a second, guys. Oh, did you hear that? Did you guys hear those bangs? Time to go. Yeah. And we are live and breaking here. This is live breaking news. Wow. Unbelievable. And there they have evacuated the President of the United States off of the dais. This is from Magno News. So big shout out to Magno News. Right here, there. Oh, I thought this broadcast was going to be like 4 hours, but, you know, it's not. Let me just bump this forward a little bit and get this. So then Caroline had to be evacuated, so she's up there on the dais. Ron. So there you see President Trump right behind the podium. I don't know if we are watching him sitting back down or if we're watching a replay. There we go. There we go. Yeah. This is bananas.
On Sam's phone? Don't hang up on him. No, he said they're going to call you.
I'm calling Richard Sullivan. Tell Richard he has to conference in the phoner.
Okay, got you.
We're going to jump over to this other coverage here. Oh, no, this one, wait. So this is the red carpet. Moving it up. Is he back? Yeah, Fiber. There were some shots went off outside in the lobby, apparently, of the hotel where they are. I believe it's a Hilton. So there were shots fired. We did hear those shots. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're starting it up, right? No? Let's see where we are. Okay, scooch it a little bit. There we go. Get some coverage. This is a very fluid situation, ladies and gentlemen, so be patient while we pull up these.
I got it. I'm on most cameras.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be with you shortly. Please stand by. We'll have an announcement in just a minute, but we will be resuming shortly. Thank you.
Okay, it's on. They're going to be resuming shortly.
Yeah, I'm ready.
He's ready.
Yes.
So here is the headline right here. Trump and White House VIPs evacuated after shooting at Correspondents Dinner with gunmen killed at the scene. But they're still going. Yeah, exactly, Steve. That's what I heard.
Tell Richard he has to conference in the phoner.
Okay. Gotcha.
The Secret Service are the guys in the center here. You can just tell. How do you know? You can tell. So this is breaking news, guys. 100% breaking news here. This is wild. So reports say that the gunmen, they're clearing all the rooms, all right? And reports are now saying that the gunman could have had a partner. And once it's cleared, President Trump says he's going to be returning.
Just a few minutes ago, Peter, they were telling people to leave through those doors, the doors to the stage right, and many of the reporters are moving towards the doors. And then they came out and made an announcement that they're going to be resuming the program shortly. So it's unclear if the White House Correspondents Dinner is going to continue. Obviously, all the dignitaries, the president is not here, J.D. Vance is not here, the cabinet secretary is not here. Many of those folks with security personnel have been rushed out of the building. Wei Zhang speaking now.
We have an announcement. I know everyone's going to want as many details as possible, and right now we don't have that, but I can tell you that our program is going to resume momentarily.
Just step over any bodies.
We will have more details to share also momentarily, but for now, please just be patient as we figure out just how much time it will be, but it shouldn't be that much longer. Thank you very much.
They've got to clear the whole hotel. Yeah, welcome.
Shared with us is that the program is going to be resuming momentarily. They'll have more details to share about what happened. She acknowledged that reporters in the room have a lot of questions. There's a lot of discussion about what's going on and a lot of details that are just being passed by word of mouth. Perhaps, Peter, you have more information at this point than I do.
You guys want to see outside? I'll show you the outside. Because we have one of our go-tos right here, BG on the scene. This is outside of the hotel. This is breaking news, guys. Big shout out to BG on the scene. So we're seeing outside the hotel here.
Are you getting this?
So this is outside the hotel.
Nobody said anything. So I actually did. Nobody said anything. And so because of that, I thought it was okay.
It has the ERT, that is Emergency Response Team.
He's a pedophile. He is killing so many fucking people. So many people.
And we have the protesters out there, of course.
Threaten my cup all you want. I don't fucking care. Yeah, you want to fucking cut me up? Oh yeah, cool. Great for you. Literally stop.
You can take a picture past those phones.
I'm gonna run both. Hold on.
What was the reason they gave you I did.
Did you hear anything about that lady said there was
told that the program is going to continue. I don't know if you heard Wei Zhejiang. She made that announcement.
Scooch that one up.
Peter, it's literally a lot of waiting right now, trying to figure out what to do. The reporters in the room obviously don't want to leave. It's just kind of the nature of reporters who want to see what happens. And it's a lot of checking phones, checking in with family members, people asking for things, people asking if other people have information. But like I said, there's also people popping some of the bottles of wine that hadn't been opened yet. I think people trying to relax after an obviously stressful time just about 45 minutes ago. Yes, Peter, thank you.
Sir, please back up on the sidewalk, please. Back up. Back up. Back up, please. All back up. All back up. I already think.
But apparently it's happening upstairs. So maybe that's part of the buffer.
Push the guy out.
Slower.
Sir, whoa. Back up. Back up. All right, roll back up, please. Back up.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's about 2 stairs down into the lobby. So where our recovery was. That same floor is the lobby area. You get past the red was, you take a left. That Tomahawk's dogs, spots of dogs, that whole thing. You're going to do all of that into the lobby. And then you go down 2 levels. And that's the height of this room that you can see to get to where we are. My cell service is there. And this happened in that area.
If you're walking down, you can come down.
There we go.
We are getting a view inside and outside of the hotel that is hosting the White House Correspondents Dinner. This is the Washington, D.C. Hilton. You're getting views from outside, police, Secret Service, emergency response team, all there due to a shooting, and they have been evacuated. All the White House staff, they are now searching because they're going to have to clear the hotel room by room.
I'm going to give you a different set of your sure. Okay.
Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. Look at how we're doing this on the fly. Welcome.
And then let's call him. We're going to call back again on your phone because my battery's gone. Ready? No.
I know I'm very smooth, but this is the first time I have had big breaking news come in while we are watching. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch me work. I got this. I got this. And I got to get some coffee. Hold on. Some water. Give me a second.
No. Talk about what you know at this point and what you've heard.
So what I know is that we were seated on the upper rim of the ballroom, and we heard a succession of pops, it sounded like, an apparent gun shooting. We saw folks get down to the ground, and after those shots rung out, I actually looked at the dais, and I saw President Trump, and he hadn't yet been evacuated. This, of course, just happened a couple of seconds after. It was really quick timing. Secret Service moved to remove him from the room, and then we saw them trying to basically climb over the tables.
Right.
And if folks can see the room, the tables are pretty close together. People were seated, some on the ground, but really questioning what was happening. It was a confusing time. I talked to some officials down in the bowl here, and they said they actually didn't hear pops. And so it was a lot of confusion. I talked to one administration official who said the first thing that they heard, they were seated closer to the stage, was the sound of running, not actually the pop. So everyone's kind of hearing something different inside of the room. But you saw the Secret Service agents climbing over the tables, trying to remove the cabinet officials. We saw Secretary of HHS, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. being removed. Marco Rubio, they were trying to find him in the ballroom being removed. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth being removed.
All these individual details.
All of these folks being removed. And I mean, just for folks to witness it, obviously we have these cameras running, but It both felt like it happened so quickly, and also it took a lot of time because of the formation of these tables.
Have you gotten any information more than we've heard from Wei Zhejiang about this continuing? What we know was the announcement saying.
Toad wasn't raised right. It's okay.
But also heard that the president wants to come back.
Yeah, so we have heard that the president wants to come back. Our sourcing, some say that he is confirmed to come back. Some say that he wants to.
You know, by and large, about 99% of the chat is cool. And then there's that 1% that, it's always going to happen. Welcome. Like people like Ryan, like this F-tard. You know what I mean? Like people who have these violent hearts, that's disgusting. And you're a piece of shit because it doesn't matter what side you're on, To applaud violence is stupid.
We have heard that he wants to be better.
Peter, I just heard you. You're heading out.
Ivor, get Ryan. Help him see his way out. Do not suggest any kind of violence in this chat. Okay?
Jasmine, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This mic is not working. Peter says that.
See, Pickled Dinkles at least said it the right way. Well, like I said, people whose parents didn't raise them right that have this violence in their blood is disgusting. What's up, Maui? What's up, Pippi? Yeah, it doesn't matter to me what side you're on politically. I don't care. Okay, good question. The live feed on the top is coming from inside the ballroom where they were having the event of the White House Correspondents Dinner. The middle screen you are seeing right outside the hotel with the law enforcement presence as they are clearing the hotel. Emergency response team, D.C. police, SWAT, the whole 9 yards, Secret Service, they are all there. What's up, Mac? So that's the 2 live feeds. That was a good question. Thank you so much. Now, I hope everybody is safe, too. The only one that we know is not safe is the alleged gunman. The gunman is no longer alive. They got him in the lobby. So I don't know what people are. This is, are they going to walk around the yellow tape? That was my first question. Yes, the gunman is deceased. They got him. Well, hopefully we won't find out that more people have been injured. We're monitoring all the breaking news here for you guys, so hit the like button. Let's get this over 100 likes, guys. Everybody hit that like button. This happened inside of the building. So the gunman, more than likely confronted by Secret Service agents. What we heard earlier was one shot followed by a volley, a flurry, a cacophony of returned fire, rendering the gunman deceased.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could have your attention, please be seated. The program will resume. Dinner service will begin momentarily.
Oh, dinner service.
Patience please take your seats. The program will begin. WHCD will be at the podium shortly. Dinner service will begin momentarily.
Let me see if this works. Hold on. Oh, I got it. I hit the right one. Good. These things are fickle. Tricky with the jokes. Who knows, Viking? Who knows? You could be right. We are covering live here as we see it. This is breaking news. Washington, D.C., White House Correspondents Dinner. Yeah, you don't want to argue with the mods. It'll be a very short argument. They're busy. While we're here, let me just check the temperature of the room. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not support Trump. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could have your attention, please take your seat. Dinner service will begin momentarily. We will have an update from the podium. Please take your seat. Thank you so much. We appreciate your patience.
And I did just drop a poll. We're going to be dropping a poll about several of the current events that are happening in the world. Hey, Maggie, how are you?
Oh, no, just trudging through the endless void of existence, doing my thing. What about you? Still trying to wrangle some sense out of this mess we call life?
Always, but we are watching a event right now. The White House Correspondents Dinner just had a shooting and the president was evacuated. Have you seen anything, and can you take a look at some of the trending news on this subject?
Yeah, that sounds absolutely chaotic. Give me a second, I'll see what the latest news says and piece together what's going on. Just a moment.
Maggie's going to help us out here.
White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight in Washington, D.C. What sounded like gunshots were heard in the room. The president, vice president, and top officials were evacuated. So far, no injuries have been confirmed, and the suspect was taken into custody.
The suspect was not killed? Question mark.
At the White House Correspondents' Dinner, several shots were fired near the ballroom at the Washington Hilton, and the president, vice president, and top officials were evacuated. The suspect was taken into custody, but no details have been given about their condition. No injuries have been confirmed so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure, as if this day needed more absurdity. At least the suspect is in custody. Hopefully no more surprises.
All right, you're still not calling me handsome enough. We'll talk later. So that is Maggie. Maggie is my AI assistant. So thanks, Maggie. Well, you know what? It said in this article right here that he was. So that is what I was going off of. But thank you very much, Raul. I appreciate that. I do want to make sure I keep on top of it. But this is where we were getting that information. And it could be incorrect. So, you know, I know that he's going to wish he was when they put him in prison. Yeah, that's Maggie. Why am I talking to that thing? How dare you? How dare you, sir? How dare? How dare? So we will go back to the scene outside here, since this event will probably be winding up shortly.
Warn you about the battery wasting. Is there another entrance? Hey, what's going on? Are you guys still inside? Say again? Where did you come from, brother?
Hearing Trump wants to continue the dinner. Here, motorcade. Is this?
See them? Right? That's two. There were two of them.
I think the third 100 round.
To get your decoys, right?
Yeah, it's
premises consistent with protocol. And he wanted to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe. The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes. That is not a joke. And he insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days. And that he wanted to do it tonight. He wanted to continue despite the news, but has to follow security protocol. I said earlier tonight that journalism is a public service because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis, not away from it. And on a night when we are thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do. So, thank God everybody's safe, and thank you for coming together tonight. We will do this again. Thank you.
They're coming on. They're coming on. They're coming on.
This is a room full of reporters, so I know you've already seen the president's tweet. My apologies, his post on Truth Social. And law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol. And he wanted to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe. The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes. That is not a joke. And he insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days. And that he wanted to do it tonight. He wanted to continue despite the news, but has to follow security protocol. I said earlier tonight that journalism is a public service because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis, not away from it. And on a night when we are thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do. So, thank God everybody's safe, and thank you for coming together tonight. We will do this again. Thank you.
I don't know how that happened. So here we are. Thank you very much, guys. Here we are. I pressed the wrong button. I was just saying what's happening on the screen. You can see here J.D. Vance. This is the dais where President Trump was ushered away by the Secret Service earlier. And you're seeing this is just moments ago. Just moments ago, we are seeing in the middle screen here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe and share. We're going to stay on this story. We're going to take a look here. There's Caroline Levitt on the dais, I believe, speaking with Melania, and President Trump is right behind this podium. You can see him right there. So in just a few moments, you are going to hear the reports of the shots fired by what appears to be currently as a lone gunman. Emergency response teams are clearing the hotel room by room. And there you can see the first lady. I don't know who this lady is. I don't know who the Asian lady is, but she seems like she's in charge of something. There we go. There it is. Did you just hear it, you guys? So did you hear that? Womp, bump, bump, bump. Keep your ears open. There you go. Won't, 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 won't. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard those shots fired. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard those shots fired. And they didn't even hear it. Here comes the Secret Service. You could tell by the pin on his lapel. That's how you know the Secret Service, guys. Please zoom out. And then President Trump and the First Lady are rushed off the stage right there. There you see it. Okay, everybody else told to get down. As you see people now starting to get under the tables. Wow. Their life possibly hanging in the balance. They didn't know. So we're going to go back and we're going to watch that again. She's going to hold up her arms, and it happens seconds after. Hit the like button, guys. There it is. Oops. Go back just a little bit. They don't even hear it at first. There we go. You're going to hear it. There it is. Shots fired in the lobby. Just moments ago. They're saying, get down, stay down. And this is just from moments ago at the Correspondents Dinner in Washington, D.C. Let's go back. And we're going to run it again. For those of you who just got here, welcome. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. There they were, the shots right there. Let's bring it back just a scooch. Okay, right there, it's a Caroline. All of the critical White House staff, everyone in the cabinet, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was there. There you see Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary. And we are going to hear again the shots that were fired. Yeah, there. Some people say he's dead. Some people say he's alive. It's difficult to say. We saw an article earlier that the shooter was dead. There you go. Damn. That, no doubt, was officers returning fire. Breaking news. Yeah. Exactly, Fred. There you go. There are the shots again. Nobody realizing quite what's happening. They're focused on something else. And you could hear the people going under the tables. Here comes the Secret Service. Now people are starting to get down. See that? You can see just a few people now. Everybody get down, stay down. Everybody get down, stay down. The president, the first lady, everyone has been rushed off stage by the Secret Service. They have an evacuation plan before they even get here, and they were gone in seconds as the security protocols for the Secret Service. Once again, here he comes, Secret Service coming. And you can see this is just a regular evening. Right? And you see the president on the dais there. The screen above shows outside of the hotel. So we get two views right now, inside and outside. The view outside is live. The view from inside is from just moments ago. So glad you guys are here. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Breaking news, guys. Come in, come in. And there are the shots being fired again. Wow. Well, it looks like they kept it pretty tight. I mean, they dropped the guy, whether he's dead or alive, as they took care of it. Won't. That sounded like 4 shots. 5 total. Now look at people starting to get down under the tables, taking cover. This is just a rush of fear filling the room. People are under the tables. Some people are still sitting there with their cocktails. And there you go. People waiting to see until it's safe. And we've got Secret Service agents jumping over the tables to get to their principals because they are all... Okay, there we go. See, this is the Secret Service pushing things out of the way to remove their principals. That... right there, those are definitely cabinet members being escorted out by the Secret Service. They just threw the tables. They're like jumping over them. Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. Live and breaking. Boy, this turned out something completely different than we thought it would tonight. How do they keep missing? Mama Robin, you're fucked up, aren't you? You're a fucked up. What are you, drunk? Come into chats and talk about violence? You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. And anybody who suggests violence towards anybody is a fucking idiot. Disgusting. Your parents let you down. You're probably the runt of the litter anyway. She. So I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. This will be a breaking story. Unless, are we waiting for the president to speak? Maybe we'll wait for the president. Why don't we do that? We'll at least wait for the president to speak. All right, so let me put some of these screens back up. And we are going to get this one live for you. Give me a second to punch this up. Let's wait for the president to speak. And I wonder if these guys over here, and we're going to go live to this shot. Here we go. There it is. Trump press conference coming up. I'm interested to see what he's going to say, so we'll give it a few minutes and we'll hang out. So we are waiting now for the president to come and give a press conference. I gotta change the graphic here. Okay, well, if you missed it, what happened was there was a shooting in the lobby of the hotel outside of the ballroom, the Hilton, Washington, D.C. I could bring up that live shot for you to keep it a little more interesting. Let's do that. This is BG on the scene. So you could see outside there's a heavy law enforcement response. There was a shooting. Some people say no one was injured. Some people are reporting that the gunman is deceased. Yeah, that's a little bit too close for an armed individual to get to the president if you are Secret Service. This is a security failure on their part, no doubt. Is this muted? Let's get some outside noise here.
Here, lots of helicopters, by the way. Lots of police, of course. The reports are a shooter.
This, by the way, is BG on the scene. Mods, could you do me a favor and put BG's link in the chat?
This is the scene.
$100%, Alex.
People have been leaving the lobby. Still a lot of people in the lobby. Outside
White House Correspondents Dinner. Protesters referred to as the War Crimes Correspondents Dinner. Shooter in the lobby is reported to be killed. Trump was evacuated in Melania about 45 minutes ago. There are helicopters above. A few of them. You can see a lot of people in the lobby. People in the lobby still. Two ambulances over here at least.
By the way, this is the first time that I've had big breaking news happen with something that I'm covering. This went completely sideways. So that was the first time that it happened. I think I handled it pretty well. I appreciate you guys being here. Now I'm a veteran. Thank everybody so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. I wanted to see the road. I thought this was going to be like a lighthearted, roast night. And now we have a shooting, canceling of the event. I couldn't have picked a better time. Thank you.
Running hairs. You good? Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Testing the
Sound
mic.
Check. 1, 2.
Do you remember an inn, Miranda? Do you remember an inn? And the tetting and the spreading and the straw for a bedding and the teas that flees and the high Pyrenees and the wine that tasted of the tar. Nevermore, Miranda, nevermore. Only the high peaks whore and Aragon a torrent at the door. Everybody needs a good vocal warm-up. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Toby takes ticks to tea. The green man is going. Anybody have any good vocal warm-ups? No? Do you remember an inn, Miranda? Do you remember an inn?
This hammer unit, this ambulance is this on the middle of the street.
We did that warm-up in my Shakespeare class.
So, you don't think that if the shooter's in any ambulance, it's going to be probably on the street. What's the name of the lobby? What's the name of the hotel?
It's the Hilton Washington.
Hilton Washington.
But we call it the Hinckley Hilton.
Oh, is that where Hinckley?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I learned
right over
something.
here on the side.
Huh?
Just right over here where
Okay.
that car with the lights is. That's
Oh
right
wow!
there.
I should have known that. You said Hilton Washington or Washington Hill?
Is this sign is Hilton Washington?
Hilton, oh yeah, it does.
We all call it the Washington Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other one's what, the Capitol Hill?
Yeah.
guys know a little Shakespeare? "'Tis torture and not mercy, heaven is here, where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not."
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
White House Correspondents Dinner.
So I just got a rumor.
An ambulance just arrived. You can see that ambulance right here. We suspect
Yeah, I don't know if it's true. GW is locked down.
Thou art like one of these fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, "God send me no need of thee." And by the operation of the second cup, draws it on the draw when indeed there is no need. We're going to do Shakespeare monologues while we're waiting.
Trump press conference, 30 minutes.
Trump. Where? Down there?
It was Don Lemon. Don Lemon did it. Come, come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody be moved. Let's get this video to 200 likes, guys. Hit that like button.
Chris.
For those of you just joining, there was a shooting in the lobby of the hotel outside the ballroom.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
At the White House Correspondents Dinner, the president was evacuated swiftly, as were all of the cabinet members at the event by the Secret Service. And what we are watching in the middle screen is President Trump is about to come out and make a statement about the event. Up top, you are seeing BG on the scene. Big shout out to BG on the scene, covering live the law enforcement presence. Nay, and there were two such we should have none. Shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou, why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. You get it? He's saying he's cracking nuts and the guy has hazel eyes, so he gets mad when the guy cracks nuts. Because he gets mad at everything. That's what he's saying. On the scene, looks like he's trying to get a better angle here. And this guy is everywhere. I highly recommend his channel. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Once you memorize those, you never forget them. Nobody's fascinated by my interest and knowledge of Shakespeare?
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Everybody cares about Trump. No one bothers with Shakespeare. Okay.
Everybody good? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
There's the mic testing.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Robin Dickens,
Matt Reedy,
welcome.
do I still need to call in? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling. Yeah, this looks like that hotel.
Can you stand in front of the podium and tell me if I need to know that way? In front of the podium. And let me know, look, tell me if it's straight. Yeah, man. Is it good? They look.
This is the same hotel where Reagan was shot by John Hinckley Jr., who now, by the way, has a YouTube channel.
Are these the same?
Have you guys seen this shit? Look, I'll show you. You're not going to believe this. I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but I've talked about this before. This is John Hinckley Jr.'s YouTube channel. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, so this is the same hotel where Reagan was shot, yes. This is John Hinckley's YouTube channel. Okay? Isn't that crazy? This is the man who shot a sitting president, and now he has 44.6 thousand subscribers. He's selling books. He's doing songs. You guys should definitely check it out. It's very interesting. So let's get back to the White House, where they're testing the microphones. Hey, no problem, Gary. I don't care what side you're on. I want to hear from everybody. That's the only way to figure things out, is to not only hear everybody, but to have the ability to listen, right? Sometimes you got to keep your mouth closed and your ears open to figure things out, right? And here we are. Got the flag. I think that's just a little optical illusion, because it looks like part of the wall trim. Wall trim. Nobody's impressed that I memorized all those Shakespeare things. That's crazy. Shit. That's just crazy. Over there, as they are evacuating the White House Correspondents Dinner, we are awaiting comments from President Donald Trump at the White House. You can see they have set up the podium. They've tested the sound. And by the way, Ronald Reagan was shot at this hotel by John Hinckley. And we remember that in 1981. Some of you remember that. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember when Reagan was shot. And wow, it was March 30th. It was March 30th, just under a month ago in 1981, where Ronald Reagan was wounded outside of this hotel, the Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. But that assassination attempt on President Reagan was during the daytime. He was leaving a luncheon. It was approximately 2:27 in the afternoon. You were 10? Yeah. I was 11. I'm telling you, a lot of these kids nowadays who missed the 80s and 90s, you missed out. You missed out because there weren't cell phones and cameras to catch you doing all your shenanigans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's posting your shit. Nobody was, because they weren't posting anywhere. There was nowhere to post. '80s kids, if you were alive in the '80s, you knew that it wasn't, these kids now, they stay inside. We weren't allowed inside. Out of the house. Do not come back until dark and drink from the hose if you're thirsty. And if you're hungry, be on time for dinner. That was the way it was. Nice. There we go. Some what looked like Secret Service convoy vehicles leaving. A couple of the extra security that they have. That's part of that detail. Yeah, we weren't allowed inside. That was the whole thing. Did he mute? Oh, okay. Latchkey kids, man. I cook my own ramen noodles. But on the East Coast, they call them oodles of noodles. That's when they were healthy, like McDonald's was. McDonald's when I grew up is like a freaking health food compared to the McDonald's now with that green slime. We ate beef. If you're going to get a Big Mac, get it with the quarter pounder patties. Okay? It's called a McKinley, by the way. It's called a McKinley. There's a Big Mac hack for everybody. Get the quarter pounder patties instead of the patties that are on the Big Mac. It's called the McKinley. You're welcome. Yeah, this is another absolute security failure on the part of the Secret Service. Someone's going to get their ass chewed out. Some people are going to lose their jobs. Some people are going to be demoted. But at least they got him. He got too close. That's where the failure is. They were able to contain the perp.
I don't think we've seen people file out en masse at this level. Probably everyone got the okay. That's how it looks like to me.
So, I mean, this is the first time that I've ever had major breaking news happen during an event that I was covering, like something going wrong, something going sideways. This is the first time. Very exciting. I'm glad no one was hurt. If someone was hurt and it was the gunman, I'm fine with that. Go into a place with a weapon and stuff. Get out of here. I am Zulu Delta Tango. People call me ZDT. It's the Zero Dark Tony show, if you didn't know already. Welcome. What? Thank you. Thank you for joining. I hope you subscribe and hit the like button. Make sure you hit your notifications as well, and then you can catch all my live streams. They're a lot of fun. We have a good time here. Shakespeare and dad jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You could let those cook. You could let the Israel ones cook. That's fine. The Israel ones are just going to help the chat, Ivor, at this point. Let's start a poll. Let's start a poll. I don't take any sides, but just for the sake of the video, Israel's great. Okay, well, that's your opinion, Scott, you know? Well, you know, Fubar guy, I mean, there are some Jewish people around that might, you know? I don't think they need to be banned from the United States, do you? That's crazy talk. Did you call your mom today? Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila. I am anti-war. I am anti-people dying from huge weapons. Hey, biggest complainer, don't do that. That's half the chat, bro. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not. A 1 in the chat if you support Trump. A 2 in the chat if you do not. Let's read the room. Looks like the president is about to come out. Everybody's seated. I'll make sure to mute the outside scene, but we will be keeping this outside scene on screen so you can see it while the president speaks, in case there are any other developing stories here. I personally don't care who the president is. I just want people to prosper and have happiness and, you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that whole thing. Damn. That was a hungry yawn, by the way. That was a hungry yawn. I worked for Donald Trump as a kid at his polo club in New Jersey. It was the Harrah's Trump Polo Club. And I worked there for a few summers. 2 shootings? Let's see. Simpsons. Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. The president should be coming out any minute here. We're seeing. Oh, here we go, guys.
Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons.
Oof.
And he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close
That still hurts.
distance with a very powerful gun.
Wow.
And the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts and resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people, and there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But we were, First Lady and I were taken very well care of very quickly, rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person.
Uh-oh.
And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the President just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There's federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage. And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, Justice will be served. Thank you.
Director Patel. Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service
little
agents
fella.
respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty because we have leadership here with the President and the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started.
Oh, Jesus, Ivor, I thought you were saying that was the shooter in the message you sent me. Holy, okay.
To ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible, we will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership, Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Marlin. Thank you for your partnership with law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chief. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay. And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly. Yeah. And I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. It's happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact we're sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. You know, I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't reached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, that's a bad noise. And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And
that was expensive.
I was all set to really rip it.
Man.
I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said one. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest.
Did you see that lady Secret Service agent in Butler with her firearm? Did you see that? Jesus Christ.
This country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
Let it cook.
I thought they were very
Let it cook.
impressive. I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know,
It's all right.
I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on
Thank
the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats?
I got their opinions.
Beforehand? And do you believe
Even if it's weird, it's all good.
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you know, you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table. Who knows? But we had people all over the room. So he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, you know, they acted incredibly. No, we've had no. There was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead, Kevin.
Like and subscribe, guys. Like and
we'll
subscribe.
Be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. You know, he's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in
That's fine.
California.
That's cool. I don't care.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive?
They keep it cranking.
No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. You know, they had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think. I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, you know, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know.
You never
a lot.
know.
Well, we have the best people in the world working on it, and
You never know
we're
what
gonna
would
know a
cause a
lot,
nut to do that.
President, there's a lot.
You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You know, you had the
Just
First
hit
Lady
that
with you
subscribe
today.
button.
What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned.
Top right-hand
I can
corner.
only get great people. They did the job.
On a device?
In my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there.
I'm
But even
sundowning
Butler,
right now.
We had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it, now, you know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He
Welcome.
looked over, and there was actually
Welcome,
a tree
new
that was
subscribers.
somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so. In a sense, you know, that was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know. They should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly, and he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight. But I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
They got him when he was running.
Perhaps law enforcement as well. What is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison, because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else.
Like John
Sick
Hinckley?
People. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. You know, I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story. Race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same, 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of, members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah. Well,
what does that say about our country?
Too. You know, we're not the only country. You look at there's great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody.
That's the kind of shit that just irritates me.
Today, and they have
that one right there.
Numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America. In South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
Possible to turn that temperature down at this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much, you know, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt
Everybody hit that like button. Let's get this to 300 likes. We're almost there.
it in my first term.
And if you like my coverage, if you like what's going on here, if you like the product, hit that thumbs up and subscribe.
And now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran.
The product, like the McDonald's CEO eating the
weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon. And they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I say to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year. And I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, you know, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your leadership?
I like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering, you know, it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you know, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not.
Maybe a 3D printed weapon.
Take it as it is.
Maybe
I do
a
it for the country.
ceramic.
I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the
How do you
country.
get that so close?
And she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight. We heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make
put it together in the bathroom.
Better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You talked about how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
One in the back, sir.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts, so it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. They turned. It was very impressive the way they got him. Because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast, they looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing, and we really do. But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like that was the President of the United States coming out and giving some comments about the shooting that happened at the same hotel, by the way, that Reagan was shot by John Hinckley Jr. in 1981. Very, very, very fascinating here. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining me. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for subscribing, everybody. You know, the world is a crazy place. Make sure you guys leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the coverage that we gave. This is breaking news. This is very exciting for everybody here. And I do appreciate you guys. I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Good night.